Now here, next will come the suffering of suffering. See, and here I know especially, first of all, I really okay. The third, the suffering of suffering. Now, third, the suffering of suffering is the appearance of all the greater suffering, in addition to the suffering which pervades the moment we have this afflicted skandhas. Within this category, one should understand two types of suffering: suffering of lower realms and suffering of higher realms. If one were to explain the first type, the lower realms consist of these three: the suffering of hell realm, suffering of hungry ghost or hungry spirit, and the animal suffering. Three, as you have heard of many times. Each of these should be understood through the four categories, you see. Within each, classification, where they are located, location, type of suffering, and lifespan. So, this is specified because there are some people who are so fixated, So can you point out the location? Can you give us how they live life, These days, all the media, they ask those questions, so for answer to those people's mind. It's not just an abstract somewhere. Now here, as I mentioned, I'm going to say the suffering here, hell realm is described so immense. Maybe you can't believe that kind of there, special lifespan there. Now, first of all, just to get this nature of the suffering in your mind, just to get psychologically, if I'll be in that state, how I can tolerate? No. First one thing that. Secondly, to cultivate compassion, loving kindness. Without seeing the suffering of sentient beings, there's no basis to cultivate compassion. No, if, like say, a rich, famous people out there, so rich, instead of you cultivate compassion, you admire their achievement. So you cannot cultivate compassion to those people. No. So cultivate compassion. Look at the worst part of the samsara. Looking at that. And then the compassion can cultivate. Bring into your heart and exercise. So for these two big reasons, that we have reason to go through step by step to the suffering. Otherwise, I heard, some people, they read this JOL Ornament, the liberation, the section of the hell realm, and they say, I'm not interested with this. This is too much for me.
But it's not
so they've got the wrong understanding. They don't kind of explain carefully what it means. See? Now first, you see, hell realm, we did that, is that? Yes, first hell realm. First is the classification of the hell realm. There are 8 hot and 8 cold hells, making 16, which with the occasional hells 1, and never-ending hells 2, makes the 18, total 18. They are all, where are all the hells located? Below this Jambudeva. Now it's just for psychological reason. It says below this wall. Then you think, oh, okay, you don't see it, but say, oh, there's some place to answer your question. The lowest is Avicii. There is called denizen hell, constantly tortured. Or the constant suffering, hell. Above that are the Brata Pana, all intense heat, hell. The Tapana, or heating hell, is coming from the bottom up, And the Mal Raurava, or great howling hell, and Raurava, or howling hell, and Samgata, or crushing hell, the Kalasutra, or black thread hell, and some jiva, or reviving hell. This is the top one. Thus, the treasury of Abhidharma says, 20,000 yojana below here in the constant suffering hell. Above that are the other 7 hells. Abhidharma, it's called Abhidharma Kosha by the great scholar Vasubandhu. Nowadays, because of the wall structure we see through the science, and these are unseen. So some scholar they say they don't agree this description of that Abhidharma, cautious about the cosmology of that wall, But anyhow, this is psychologically we just understand that. Not as a physical, It will come down also in this book too. What type of suffering do they produce? Third, this is explained according to their names in the first reviving hell, being cut and kill each other, after which a cold breeze comes. When the cold breeze touches their bodies, they are revived again. Then happens repeatedly until their lifespan has ended. It's called reviving. We said, like sometimes there's a migraine headache. You take some pills, and then you got better. When the energy of the pills is gone, I just come back. It's reviving, So just constantly comes one after another until karma is exhausted. So anyhow, the karma is how powerful karma is. We can ignore to anybody, but we cannot ignore the karma for our benefit. We can tell anybody to save yourself, but we cannot tell lie to karma. We can have a lot of excuses. I can't this, I can't this, do that. But there's no excuse for the karma. We can negotiate a lot of things, but we cannot negotiate the karma. Make sense? This is what Buddhism is about, you see. Seeing the karma vividly. See how it works, how it does. It won't say you have practiced Dharma, you have more karma. And you don't practice Dharma, so you don't have karma. It won't say that. It's universal. So Buddha taught the teachings in that way. And then later, many great masters, they try to put into the tenets. This is this tenet system. This is this tenet system. So all become dogmatic. You see, but Lord Chaitanya Sambun, he dismantled that kind of tenet system. So how he communicated how the universal law. So that is so becomes so scientific nowadays. If you have the intelligence, mental power, you can admire that. It transcends all the cultural system, the tenet systems, explains the universal law. That's how the karma is what is about that, the causality. In the black thread hell, the bodies of beings who are born there are cut by a flaming sword or flaming axes. Wherever a black thread has marked their body, thus it is said, some are cut by a sword and others are chopped by the sharp axes. So now when you say, nowadays there's a war, look at this like hell. So much suffering there. Lot of children who are so innocent, cut into pieces. Look at that, Susie. In the crushing hell, the bodies of beings who are born there are crushed between two big mountains, or between iron plates. First, two big mountains come together like ram's head, and crush these beings. After that, these two mountains separates, and the cool breezes revive the bodies as before. Then again they are crushed. The letter of training says, the two terrifying big mountain like ram's horns, crush the body into powder between them. Others are pressed between iron plates, and a stream of blood comes forth like the four rivers, as it's said. Some are pressed like sesame seed, others are ground into a fine flour. It's all just description of suffering. So you should feel that the suffering and then develop such a strong compassion. And I have to take care of my karma. So this has me to look at to yourself. Instead of objectifying, bring into your heart. You just cultivate, see your mind, feel and get the renunciation. That's the purpose of this. In the holy hell, the sentient beings who are burning there make terrifying cries of fear. Nowadays, as I mentioned, there's some countries they're bombing, hundreds of people just killed at a time, and crying, lost their loved ones. How much suffering is there, you see. So just meditate, cultivate compassion, and then you appreciate yourself. I have this wisdom, I have this opportunity. Dharma gives me the strength, wisdom. In the greater holy hell, the cries are more terrified due to the greater suffering. In the heating hell, beings are tortured by fire and so forth. Molten bronze is poured into their bodies and burned the internal organs of the body. Then there are pierced from the anus through through to the crown of the head with the thorny, one-pointed weapons. In the intense heating hell, beings are tortured even more. Molten bronze and so forth burns their bodies entire. In terror, leaving only the skin, and flames appear from the 9 passages. Again, there are peers from the anus and soles of the 2 feet through to the crown of the head and the 2 shoulders by a thorny, 3-pointed weapons. Thus it is said. Likewise, some are boiled in a burning stream of molten metal. Others appears on hot, thorny weapons. In the constant suffering, avicii, hell, there is a blazing metal house 20,000 yojana in height and length, in which there is a brown cattle, many yojanas across. In that kettle there are cooked in burning molten bronze and copper. Fire surrounds them in the 4 directions. Thus it is said, some are cooked like a rice soup in a huge kettle made of metal. Because there is no break from this suffering, it is called the constant suffering hell. I heard there's also a volcano. When scientists want to check, there are some insects or beings in that fire. See, they don't die. How much hot that is volcano. Even the rocks can melt into the fire. Still the beings are not died. This is what talking about like this. No. It's not something made up. It's the reality nature of the beings who are suffering there. Look at that, how much suffering they have. Constant suffering. If we get one headache, how much suffering we have. We are powerless. We cannot think well. If you are writing, you cannot write. You can meditate. Only just tortured by the suffering. So those being there, look at this, So look to yourself. I will never create karma to born like these beings. It's my interest. And then develop compassion to all others. It's mentioned like this. What's the lifespan of these beings? Now is inconceivable. The treasure of Abhidharma says, in reviving and so forth, 6 hell realms, 1 day is equivalent to a day in the lifespan of gods of the desire realm. Therefore, their lifespans resembled that of the gods of the desire realm. So this I just read it. The lifespan of the 4 gods of not explaining the length of the year, the time. So the lifespan of the 4 garden king is equal to 1 day, and 1 night of the reviving hell realm. So 30 days are 1 month. 12 months make 1 year. In their time, the lifespan in the reviving hell is 500 years. In human terms now, this is equal to this number now. 1 6 2 then 0 trillions, you see.
1 5 trillion.
Yeah. Now like this anyway, you can read this, Likewise, the lifespan in the black thread hell is 1,000 years, which is similar to that of the heaven of the 33 god realms. In the human terms, this is equal to 12, 9, 6, 0 years. The lifespan in the crushing hell is 2,000 years. which is similar to that of the free of combat gods. It's also desire god ram, name of the one ram. In the human term, this is equal to 103,680 then 000 years. The lifespan in the howling hell is 4,000 years, which is similar to that of the joyous ram gods. In the human term, this is equal to 829,440 then 000 years. The lifespan in the greater howling hell is 8,000 years, which is similar to that of the enjoying emanation gods. In human terms, this is equal to 635,520 then 000 years. The lifespan in the heating hell is 16,000 years, which is similar to that of the controlling other emanation god. This is also desire. There are 6 desire god realms, so this is one of these desire god realm. In human term, this is equal to, so this all number. The lifespan of those in the intense heating hell is 1/8 of the kalpa. So now it's beyond the years. Now 1/8 of the kalpa. That of the constant suffering hell is 1/4 kalpa. In Sanskrit it's called another kalpa. It is said in the Abhidhamma Kosha, in the intense heating hell, 1/2 antakalpa, and in the constant suffering hell, 1 antakalpa. So there's the year span. So look at this. Also psychologically, you see, also there's also communication, you see. When you have like a depression or feeling very sad, or that time you feel so long. Even 1 hour, you feel maybe a whole day. So you can communicate. There's also that kind of also communication there. When you feel good with your friend you haven't seen for a long time and you're met, so you have such a good relationship. The person that your friend maybe 1 day or 2 days spend time with you, and you enjoy so much communication, constantly enjoying eating food, walking, and you feel that the day is so short. So everything's relative. So from the relativity state, can also communicate these things. So meditate that yourself. Anyhow, it's mentioned, most important thing is the 2 things. Taking care of the karma and developing compassion. This is the most important. In this you can get the complete nature of the samsara. No. Depth of the samsara in the hell realm. What it means. Here I see, first you see, now I'll finish the reading, then there's more explanation on this. Neighboring hells, these are located in the 4 directions around the 8, the great hells. In the first additional hell, there are burning ashes in which beings sink up to their knees, looking for a way to escape from the hot hell realms. Sentient beings there step in these, and all their skin, flesh, and blood burn up. And when they raise their legs to take a step above that ash, then they rejuvenated again, refreshed. So that's one. Next to that, the second additional hell is called unclean, rotten corpse, swamp, where beings are pierced to the bone by insect with white bodies, black head, and sharp beaks. And also just, there's some like maggots that like to go to the most rotten swamp, and individuals down there, you see. For us, it's so kind of, disgusting, and they enjoy the suffering there so much. Besides that, the third additional hell consists of a road filled with a razor, where all the trees and forests have razor leaves. Fierce, ferocious, brindle dogs live there. There is a forest with leaves like iron spikes, and there are ravens with iron beaks. Those who wander there suffer great wounds. That kind of suffering is there. Next to that, the fourth additional hell is a boiling river of ashes from which there is no exit. The messenger of Yama, the Lord of the Yama, stands next to it and prevent beings from living, so they are cooked inside their river. Thus the text of Abhidharma says, the 16 additional surrounding the eight in the four directions. The burning ashes, the rotten corpse swamp, the road filled with the razors and so forth, and the boiling rivers. So finish this head, then we can have a break. The gardens of hell, we said, the gardens of heaven. We just stop here, have a short break. First, Kevin, what do you want to have?
I was just wondering why, if this is your experience, why it doesn't become all-pervasive suffering.
This is suffering of suffering.
Yeah, but I mean, if one hell being says to another hell being, I'm tired of having hot, molten metal poured on me, and the other one says, well, that's life, get over it. I mean, I experience suffering in the summer because I know of the pleasure of spring, fall.
Yes.
And if they're continuously experiencing the suffering,
yes,
and it seems their suffering would just be equivalent to all pervasive suffering.
No, pervasive suffering pervasive suffering is mentioned clearly before, you see. What's the feeling of the pervasive suffering?
Well, yeah, that's my point.
Yes.
That their suffering for them
yes.
would become the all-pervasive suffering. Because they're always experiencing it. They don't know anything else.
Then where goes the suffering of suffering?
They're just suffering. I mean, they're just.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
Normal to them. It's life to them.
They like the suffering?
Well, I don't know if they like it, but it's just.
First, do you like or not?
I don't like suffering because I experience joy. So. Because I experience joy, I'm aware of the suffering.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm suffering when I'm suffering.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know anything else.
No, when you suffer, at that time, you enjoy your suffering or not?
I'm not enjoying the suffering only because I know the difference. I know the difference between joy
Suppose you're suffering. Just contemplate yourself. The suffering you have, suppose that lasts one whole day. In between, sometimes you enjoy or not.
I don't enjoy it because I know
it. So you don't enjoy, you see.
I don't enjoy it.
That's logical.
Previous days, I've had days where I wasn't suffering like that. And so I can compare it to.
Yes.
Well, I think it's the rejuvenative when the
That's right.
flesh reconstitutes, it comes back, and so they see how they can be but then they immediately go into,
And
burning ashes or the
they
whole thing.
immediately go.
Yeah, but they can see what it's like before that, when they're whole beings.
Potential.
And the potential, yes.
Yeah, well, it seems to me adapt.
Yes.
Are beings in the hell realms really able to communicate with each other when they're in those hell realms?
In other cases, looks like. Yes, there are some cases there.
In some realms.
Yes, so there's also stories there. Also, they communicate.
Okay.
Unlike a lot of animals, animals were very difficult to communicate. Even though they do communication, but not communicating. I'm suffering, or you are not suffering,
Oh, yeah.
But in the hell realm, there is they have some clarity of the mind.
I'm sorry, they have
The
what?
clarity of the mind.
Okay.
They see how much suffering is there. And sometimes they see what the cause of those suffering.
Yeah.
They created. And then sometimes they regretted what they did. And that becomes also good opportunity to purify.
They
Remorse,
and
yeah.
recreate what they did.
Yeah, the remorse,
Yeah.
the karma they have created. So that's why I say in some cases, in the hell realm, there's a more opportunity to come back than in animal realms.
With all that suffering, all those kalpas of horrible suffering,
Yes, so
why do
much.
they come back as animals? They must be totally purified. What could they have left in them to purify?
Yes, so that's look at
So even animals have to be purified again. And then why aren't they even more so? Why don't they come back as Buddhas? All that suffering has to do something.
exactly. That's
I mean, this is
yeah.
bothersome.
Yes, it does. It bothers me too so much.
But just because
Maybe I'm getting more bothered than maybe you are. I think I can't believe this all that. In first place, when they get that much suffering, why they don't die? We just, if you hit their head, you die. Then they're that much suffering and they're not die. Why?
But it makes no sense. You have that beautiful realm where the gods are,
Yes.
and they just come back as animals.
That's right.
But these people, these beings have suffered forever. So why are they animals? Why aren't they something more special? If you suffer that long, there can't be any karma left.
That's right. Then after the karma finish, they come back.
But they don't come back as anything special.
They
don't come
do again. They come back, and we create again to go there. That's why we are just preparing this. You see, yeah, exactly. That's what it means. Yeah. Yes.
Rinpoche, what I think I'm hearing you say through all of this is the most important thing from what you're saying and what we're reading
Yes.
is not to get focused on the hell realms,
That's right.
but to focus on our own karma and maintaining good karma, trying to generate good karma
Yes.
and develop compassion,
Exactly.
and not spend a lot of time getting stuck in the hell realms and is it figurative or is it literal and
That's
all of
right.
that, because that can draw us down and
Yes.
create
Yeah.
a diversion and create delusion.
A lot of confusion may arise. So my assessment is exactly what you said. That my advice here, you look at these things, then how much suffering they have. If I be born like this, for me it would be so difficult. So I have to first I have to take care of my karma. Second, develop compassion. These beings need help. I will achieve enlightenment for these beings. That's the purpose. The principal purpose for that.
Is it true that for beings to end up in such hell realms that they would have to commit great negative karma, very much like, say, Hitler or Mao or something like that, to have such a low rebirth?
Yeah, sure. Sometimes look at your mind. When strong anger comes, so strong, and you have any hesitation to destroy. You become so mean to destroy others' life, no, without hesitation, without any concern. So that kind of, see, look at that mind. It will come to that. Now, first you make a break, then we'll discuss on that. It's here, we have that. Make a first short break, 15 minutes, and then we'll discuss so much, and we'll clear all the doubts. You see, the guardians, now, after the quotation, the guardians of the hell realm, the Yama in human form, and ravens with the iron beaks, and so forth, are they sentient beings or not? See, ask that question now. Is the real human being, this Yama, who has a lot of weapons in the hand, threatening and torturing the beings there, and the raven-headed, and this iron beaks and bite, all this. So that's what it means, this book. The Vivasika school said there are sentient beings. Now it depends. This is not a tenet system. This is the mental state for the beginners. So that they said there are sentient beings. When you have that psychological problem, and that individual, even though that person may be very innocent, you feel that person is threatening to you. They're coming to kill you. There's some people that, you see in the world nowadays who have such a psychological problem. If there's nothing, you feel that somebody's coming, making noise. So I got to do that. There is, as mentioned that also in the way we talked about the dream state. In the dream, when you are taken by the rivers, burned by the fires, in the dream, that state is real. You cannot deny it's not real. Then, and the South Tantrika school say they are not sentient beings. They say they are not sentient beings. So those like making noise, so there's nothing. It's a little higher in the meditation. See? Now the Yogacarya school means mind-only school. Mind school says, and the lineage of Marpa and Milarepa say that they manifest in the minds of sentient beings by the power of those beings' evil deeds. So your negative thought, so psychological. Your negative thoughts, negative karma, then brings up all manifesting this result as if coming from outside, and you suffer. It makes so sense, That's why we need the Dharma for that, you see, to purify that. Those who are nightmares, the people who have that, you have to tell them there's nothing out there. Just calm, relax yourself. As just earlier mentioned, I mentioned that some small suffering you have, that day you feel so long day. In relation to this engaging in the conduct of the Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva avatar by Shantideva say, who intentionally created all the weapons for those in the hell, all those weapons, like the mountains, coming, crash you. Oh, so, who are these? Who created them? Who created the burning iron ground? And from where did all this for men is called woman. For women, we can use man. From where did all men or women in hell ensue? The sage, Mr. Buddha, has said that all such things are the working of an evil mind, the manifestation with your evil mind. How's it look to see? This will ease us, you see. That's what I mentioned before, just before. Look at the suffering, how I have to take care of the karma, and develop compassion. See. Seeing this suffering, then you can develop really strong bodhicitta. Say, I must practice Dharma. There's no alternative. There's no other choice. This is not just Buddhist belief. This is a way how to do things, how to solve the problems. It's empirically, stated. So that's why I said this book is so precious. You see, just this small paragraph, it solves all our confusion. See. Now in the cold hell realm, the same thing, so I'll read it. The 8 cold hells. There are 8 types of the cold hell. The Arbuddha or blister hell, the Nirar Buddha or bursting blister hell, and Atata or shivering and teeth chittering hell, the Hava or Achu hell, this all just sound, Huhuwa or strong lamentation hell. The Uttapalas is a flower, a blue lotus flower. Uttapala is a blue lotus. Uttalapal hell, where beings' skin cracks like Uttapala, the blue lotus flowers petal. Padma is a lotus. Generally it's called Padma, the lotus hell, where beings' skin cracks like a lotus petal. And Maha Padma, the greater Padma, a lotus hell, where beings' skin cracks like the petal of the great lotus. The treasure of Abhidhamma says there are 8 other hells, means the blister and so forth. Other means the other from the hot hell. Where are these hells located? Below this Zabudeva, next to the great hot hells. What types of suffering do they experience? Their sufferings corresponding to their names. In the first 2, beings suffer such intolerable cold that blister over their entire bodies. In the second one, it is so cold that the blister burst. These names refer to the changing of the physical conditions. The next 3 are named according to the sound made by those experiencing the unbearable cold. In the 6th one, the skin turns blue and cracked into 5 or 6 pieces like Uttapala or blue lotus flower petals. In the 7th, the blue turns into red and the body cracks into 10 or more pieces like the lotus petal. In the 8th one, the color turns to a darker red, and the body cracks into the hundreds or more pieces like the petals of a great lotus. These last three refer to the changing of their physical conditions when they have that kind of suffering. This one time I saw in a documentary film, high in the glacier mountain, when the fall starts, all the stream just turn into ice, and the frog in that just frozen with that ice whole winter. And then in the spring, late spring, suppose I think summer, when the ice is frozen, is melt, and at the same time the frogs, all the ice is melt. When the ice also melt, the frog is moving. That's why I thought this is what is called hell realm. Whole winter, the whole entire body with frozen ice and not dead. That's what's called the hell realm, the cold hell realm like this. The bugs under the ground, they're frozen and suffering so much, but they have no choice. Look at this and look back to see yourself. I have to bend this down. I bring up my human value now. They don't have a human value to manifest. I have the Dharma. Now their lifespan is just beyond our imagination. You know? What's their lifespans? The exalted one explained only through this example. Even Buddha could not relate the number of the age. Just example. Monks, Buddha's asking, oh, all monks listen to me. Means now we are also. Everybody listen to me. Buddha says this. For example, suppose that in this Magadha, in the central part of India, it's northern, like Bodh Gaya, that all area castle, Magadha. There were a storehouse with an 80 bushel capacity that was filled with the mustard seed. That store. And someone remove one seed every 100 years. Someone next to the bushel picks up one seed throughout. Every 100 years. You can imagine. See, the mustard seed is so small. How it can be finished? Just imagine. Monks, in this way, completely emptying the mustard storehouse in Magadha, which holds 80 vessels, is much faster than reaching the end of the lifespan of sentient beings who are in the blister hell. The first. There's still this longer lifespan. Imagine, That's what's called samsara is beginningless time. No beginning. Monks' life in the blister hell lasts 20 times longer than the blister hell. So this multiplies 20 times longer each now. And so forth. Monks, the cracked like a great lotus hell is 20 times longer than the cracked like a lotus hell. What is this? Should say greater. Should say, I think this hell is 20 times. Yes, he said amongst the. Oh yeah, great. Yes, it is. Correct, like a great lotus hell is 20 times longer than the correct like a lotus hell. Yeah, this was abbreviated by Vasubantu in the treasure of Abhidharma. Every 100 years, take one mustard seed from the storehouse. At the end, one lifespan of the blister held will have passed. The others are multiplied 20 times. Therefore, the lifespan for the blister held is the emptying of the one mustard seed storehouse. For the bursting blister hell 20 times, for the teeth-chattering hell 400, for the achu hell 800, or 8,000, 8,000, and for strong lamentation hell 160,000 for the crate like an Uttapala hell, and 3,200,000 for the
200,000.
200,000?
3,200,000.
Yeah, yes, that's called 3,200,000, isn't it? Can you say that? Yes.
Okay.
For the crack like a lotus helm, and then 62 million, isn't it? Was 64 million for the crack like a great lotus helm. Then that's the last one. Oh, so some like maybe many millions. How many millions here?
1,200,000,000.
1,200,000.
Yeah, 200. Yeah, a lot.
Yes, not too little, isn't it? Okay. So occasional hells, there can be many beings gathered together, or two, or single. One is created by the individual's karma. There are many diverse types of this hell, and their locations are indefinite. They may be in rivers, riverside, or on the mountains, or deserts, or other place underneath the earth, or in the human ones, as was seen, for example, by the Venerable Arya Mangalayana. Likewise, this was seen by Sangha Rakita in a dry, suffering land. The lifespan is also indefinite. So these stories are here, we have in the book, so you can read those. I think a lot of our human beings have this kind of suffering. These are the explanation of the suffering of the sentient beings in the hell realm. So look at this. Again, to repeat, as in the book mentioned, psychologically, or the advanced of meditation practices, you can see these things experienced differently. Anyhow, basically, there are 100 people are invited to a special guest and lunch, and each of those 100 people have their own experience of the food. Some people say the food is so delicious. Some people say a lot of sweets there. Some people say a lot of salt there. Some people say a lot of oils there. Some people say well cooked. Some will say cooked too much. Some people say not so cooked well. So everybody will express their feeling differently. Even the same dish. That's how we perceive the world. That's why it's described like this. This is all the reaction of our karmic imprint. That's why the mission mind is very complex. Mind is powerful, sophisticated, vast, so deep. So to answer all these questions of the mind, sometimes we stop that way. That's why you appreciate. This is what called Buddhism. Exploring your mind. And then make your mind friendly with us, with yourself. Look their worst case, like the hell realms. It's telling the worst case. This is the worst case you can expect. And there's a better also place you can choose. So giving us a good picture. All this what you see. It's amazing, isn't it? See, look at this. When we don't know the secret, it's strange. It's called you cannot believe, or sometimes you cannot accept it. So it looks like it's very mean explaining all these hell realms. I don't want to listen to those things. But when you take it, don't take it personal. Take it as a lesson. See these things. There you get all the informations.
Rinpoche, I just want to share something that's for me, it's been a profound experience at this moment. Since I've read this chapter the last time, I have a relative who has very, very severe mental illness. Mm-hmm. And as we've been reading, and it says, who intentionally created all the weapons for those in hell? Mm-hmm. And I think about the last conversation I had with him, which was very recently. Mm-hmm. And it's incredible, some of the things that are described here, things that he's described to me as how he's perceiving the world right now.
That's right.
And we really, and it's as though I'm hearing him talk as I read these descriptions. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how the mind really does. And if you haven't had an opportunity to experience somebody that's going through that type of mental illness, mm-hmm. It's exactly what you read here, and it's amazing.
It is.
He is in a hell realm, yes. and he sees everyone as his enemy, and everyone's attacking him.
Exactly.
And it's amazing to realize, the depth of Gampopa's thought and what he was able to perceive. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand it as well when I did the class with Kenmo, a few years ago, but now it's right on point. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yes, exactly. That's every time when I read once, and I get more depth. Maybe I read 10, 15 times. Each time I read, I get something more. So that amazes me. Mm-hmm. I never lost interest reading this book. Larry, what do you have?
On page 100, the sentence says, the guardians of the hell realms, the yamas in human form, and ravens with iron beaks and so forth, are they sentient beings or not?
Yes.
Well, if they're sentient beings, then they're guardians and they're causing suffering themselves, which means that even though they're in the hell realms, they're going to go lower.
They're going to be the guardians.
If they intentionally do that, then they may go lower.
So, and then it says, if they're not sentient beings, well, if they're not sentient beings, what are they?
Then it's just your mental reflection.
Okay.
You see.
So they're just your delusions.
Your delusions. Yes,
Look
right.
what's the
Like
other
you as mentioned, when you see in your dream, you see people in the dream. Are they sentient beings or not? When you wake up,
Yeah, good point.
you see same thing. No?
When it says that the Yogacarya school, the lineage of Marpa and Mila,
Yes,
say they're manifestations in the mind.
that's right.
But if the one school says they are they are sentient beings, then
Yes.
they're subject to karma, and if they're causing
No, if they are sentient beings, they're subject to karma. Yes, subject to karma.
yeah.
But when you go higher meditation, as mentioned there, if they're not beings, then the same subject. One says it's sentient beings, one says not sentient beings.
And that's
So
what
which one is true?
and that's why we follow the Yogacarya school.
So that's why, as see, relate to your mind, Now we touch this suffering of the hungry ghost, animals, and then tomorrow we'll touch the suffering of the human beings, rest, Hungry spirit realms, the being. Classification are Yama, the king of the hungry spirits, and scared, so the spirit one, and then there's a scattered hungry spirit. So there's the two types of hungry spirits. Where are they located? Now, when you need specific answers, the king Yama of the hungry spirit lives 500 yojana underneath this Jambutipa, somewhere supposed to under the ground. The scattered hungry spirits have indefinite locations, such as dry places and so forth. There are three types of scattered hungry spirits. Those with outer obscurations to eating and drinking, those with the inner obscurations, and those with having the general obscurations to eating and drink. So these are three. What type of suffering do they experience? The hungry spirit who have miracle powers, that some has not miracle power through their life, this life's meditation, but from previous life's power. Miracle powers, experiencing something like the enjoyment of gods. They're so wealthy, so rich, but they're so stingy. They don't want to share a penny. Completely just secure. They feel they have nothing. They're so rich, but they feel they have nothing. Always just craving others. It's called covetousness, It's that kind. Those who have the outer obscurations to eating and drinking see food and drink as pus and blood. Even delicious food, you are disgusted. Even we have in the human realm some very good food. So I can't eat. They are not good for you. Sometimes they get a lot of explanations. And all the good food says it's not good for you. like those hungry spirit. And they're hungry, especially mentally. The mentally is burned by the hunger. They perceive the other as girding the food, preventing them from eating and drinking. Those who have the inner obscurations have no ability to eat or drink, even though others do not prevent them. So they're various. You can see the wall. They have no food, no cloth. It's very clear, see. So some suffer from hunger, like their bellies are like mountain. They feel like the belly is like a mountain. How much you eat, you cannot feel. Not necessarily literally like a belly, but you feel your stomach is like a belly, mountain, like mountain. How much you eat, still you want to eat more. What's called that?
Insatiable hunger.
Just this one, another word. Glutton?
Gluttony.
Yeah, glutton, So no satisfaction how much you eat. And their mouths are as small as eyes in a needle, like needle's eye. Because they cannot fill up the stomach, and they feel the throat is so small, like a needle. They feel, I wish I have a bigger, the throat, so that I can eat more. This is the feeling mostly is, They have no ability to search for even a small amount of unclean food. So those who have the general obscurations to eating and drinking are in two groups, the fire garland and the filth eater. Some food turn into fire. As soon as they eat, it burns whole inside. Some is turned into unclean filth. For the first, just by eating or drink, their stomach are burned. Those in the second group, eating excrement, drink urine, or eat their own flesh, as seen by Nawa Chewari in the dry desert. There's also in the books, they written, you read those. Stories are easy, just to read once, you get, To look at this, So read those stories, these descriptions, and then understand you feel their suffering and develop compassion. So strong compassion. How long is the life of hungry ghosts? 1 month in the human realm equal 1 day for hungry spirit. The 30 such day is 1 month, and 12 months make 1 year. In their turn, they live 500 years. Thus the treasury of Abhidharma says, all the hungry ghosts or hungry spirit live 500 years. It's also not exactly, some say like 1,000 years or less, depends, not necessarily exactly 500 years. In their years or months and days, so this is a hungry ghost, just hungry spirit, just a brief